Hello everyone, welcome back once again to this video. In the previous video we talked about flex wrap, which lets your flex items wrap in the container when it gets to the minimum width of the container. In this video we are going to talk about one of the most used properties with Flexbox, and it is called justify content. Justify content defines the alignment of your flex items along the main axis. You already know about the main axis and then the cross axis. Depending on your flex direction, which is going to specify the main and cross axis, it is going to align the items along the main axis. So what do I mean by that? Now, by default our flex direction is row, which means that our main axis is from left to right. So I'll say that justify content flex start. When you hover the mouse on some of these values, it tells you what they does, right? So align items along the main axis of the current line of the flex container. Flex start is going to align all the items from left to right on the main axis. It is basically the default behavior with the flex items here, the alignment of the flex items in a container currently. I can change this one to flex end, and you see that it changes. It is still from left to right, but then it is aligned at the end of the container. I can also try center, justify content center, which is going to align the items in the middle of the flex container. There is space around. It is going to add spaces around each of the flex item. So there is a space here, space here, space here for this, one here, one here, one here for this as well, right? So we get spaces around the items, space between, which is basically going to add the spaces in between the flex items instead of around the flex items. I can also change this one to space evenly. It works similarly to the space around, but this time it is going to divide the spaces evenly for the flex items. With the space around, it gives equal spaces to the left and right sides of the flex item, but with the evenly, it gives even spaces at the start, in between, and at the end of the flex item. So you see that the space here is the same as what is here, and it's the same as this and this. There is also the justify content start and end property, and the way you're going to understand this is, it works similarly to the flex start, but it is different, right? So flex start and flex end are based on the flex direction. So right now the flex direction is set to row. So if I say flex start, it is going to start from here. Flex end, it is going to go this way. Now notice if I change this one to row reverse, it is going to start from here. The main axis is now changed from right to left. So flex end is actually this side, and flex start is this side. Now if I change this one to end, so even though the main axis is starting from right to left, when I say justify content end, it is all the time going to be aligned to the end of the flex container. The same thing with if I do that, even though the flex direction is row reverse, if I change it to flex dash start, it's going to start from here, which means that the flex direction is from here to here. Yeah, so that's the difference between the flex start, flex end, start, and then the end. One is aligned along the main axis, one is aligned based on the writing mode of the container. There is also the left and then right. So if I use right, it is going to behave like doing end, just like this. It is going to align the items at the end of the container. Unless it doesn't actually make sense, then it's going to behave like end. The same thing with if I do left, it is going to align the items at the start of the container or at the left side of the container. Unless it doesn't make sense, then it's going to behave like start. Most of the time, flex start, flex end is going to just be okay for what you are looking to do. You can experiment with this a bit to understand how they work, but basically one is aligned based on the flex direction, which determines the main axis and the cross axis. And then when you're using start and end, it is aligning the items at the end and at the start and end of the container, regardless of the flex direction. That was a lot to take in, but hopefully you get what I mean. In the next video, we are going to be talking about align items. So I will see you in the next video.